I think it is fair to say this is the worst day of the Biden presidency.
It's the worst day of the Biden presidency, Nora.
I think it is fair to say this is the worst day of the Biden presidency. It's the worst day of the Biden presidency, Nora.
Yes, guys. Yesterday was the worst day of the Biden presidency. Undoubtedly the worst day. Okay, it was. Now, Biden did a press conference to explain his failure, and I gotta tell you guys, he looked old, right? Biden looked like he aged over the last 24 hours or so, right? He looked like he really aged. Okay, Biden's what, 78 or something like that? He pushing 90, right? He look like he pushing 90. Okay, now I know the presidency is supposed to age you, but I don't know if Biden can age that much more, guys. I don't know. I mean, this dude is so shook that he's out there quoting Bible verses, right? He talking about the book of Isaiah, and apparently God didn't like that.
Stop the cap.
He out here quoting Bible verses. I'm telling you, he's stressed. He's stressed. But outside of that, my best summary of how that press conference went goes like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, they gave me a list here. The first person I was instructed to call on was Kelly O'Donnell of NBC.
Yes, that's the way it goes. Because essentially, Biden is a puppet. Right? That's the best way I can describe it, guys. Most of that interview was all teleprompter, right? It was all scripted. Okay, he took a few questions at the end in which, you know, he even wet the bed on those questions as well, as my boy Peter Doocy pressed him like a real journalist.
Do you bear any responsibility for the way that things have unfolded in the last 2 weeks?
I bear responsibility for fundamentally all that's happened of late. But here's the deal. You know, I wish you'd one day say these things. You know as well as I do that the former president made a deal with the Taliban that he would get all American forces out of Afghanistan by May 1. In return, the commitment was made, and that was a year before. In return, he was given a commitment that the Taliban would continue to attack others, but would not attack any American forces. Remember that?
Yes, Joseph, we remember that, but it doesn't matter, Joe. It doesn't matter. You can still talk about Trump. If you accept responsibility, just take the L, right? Just take responsibility. Look, man, I'm going to tell you something. You know, one thing I've learned in life, especially in corporate America, man, when you mess up, don't blame others for your mess up, okay? Don't say, well, I messed up, but this person, that person. No, right? That's not how it works. Take responsibility for what you did wrong, right? You didn't adhere to Trump's deadline. You deviated from Trump's plan. You decided to basically break the agreement with the Taliban by staying longer, okay? So you did your own thing. All this is on you. So if it's on you and you're saying you accept responsibility, stop bringing up Trump and just take the L. But Biden won't do that because he wants to keep blaming Trump when he didn't stick with Trump's plan. So why are you blaming him? But guys, my main point regarding this press conference is it was scripted, right? He's not in charge. He's not running the country. It's plainly obvious. He's an empty suit. He's not there. Right? He's not there. He's a skeleton. Okay? He's incompetent. He's foolish. But despite having all those traits, it is clear that he's not running the show. Right? He's not running the show. Okay? And at this point, if I was Biden, I would probably claim some type of incapacity at this point, right? Because at that point, at least you would have an excuse for your foolishness, right? You would have an excuse for why we're giving the Taliban names of Americans and Afghan allies that helped us out. knowing that we will not be able to get all those people out, right? Which he admitted in the press conference. We won't be able to get all those people out. So what happens when we leave? What do you think happens to all those Americans and Afghan allies whom they now have names? Their names, right? Their information. What do you think happens now that the Taliban knows for sure that these people work with their enemy? You think they're going to give them a standing ovation? You think that they're going to have dinner with them? See, again, this type of gross incompetence, God, again, you know, for as foolish as Biden is, for as weak as Biden is, it's not just on him, right? It's also on the leaders in our military, right? It's not on the soldiers on the ground. It's not their fault, right? It's not our brave men and women who put their lives on the line on the front line. It's the bureaucrats in the Biden administration. It's the woke generals that's worried more about January 6th and white rage than they are Taliban rage. It's clear that all they care about is trying to appeal to the woke revolutionaries on the left. Let's just withdraw no matter what. Let's just get out of there, right? We don't care how we do it. Let's do it so that we can say that we did it. That's what their thought process was. But at the end of the day, guys, Biden's just following orders. Biden is just following orders. Just like he told you at the beginning of that video, guys. He's just doing what he's told, right? He's just doing what he's told. So all these GOP politicians that are calling for Biden to be impeached, which I agree that he probably should. If Trump can be impeached for a phone call, why can't Biden be impeached for this? He probably should be impeached for this. But you got a ton of GOP politicians like Nikki Haley, Josh Hawley, Lindsey Graham, Ronnie Johnson, Greg Stubb. You know, like you got a ton of people calling for Biden to resign or be impeached. But I got a question. Does that make any of this better? Right? Is that going to change the direction that this country's headed in? Because Biden's not running the show, right? Biden's not running the show. So again, you know, I want to make it clear, I do think that Biden, again, you know, probably should be removed from office at this point because it is clear that he is just not mentally up to the task of being president. But I don't think it changes anything, guys. Just imagine if Biden's removed from office, we have Kamala Harris as president and Nancy Pelosi as vice president. Next up. Okay, we got Nancy Pelosi next up. Right? And Kamala is definitely more left than Biden on domestic policy. Right? She's definitely more left. And I don't know if Kamala is necessarily going to be better at commanding the military as Biden. I don't know if she's going to be any better. So if you get rid of Biden, what do you got now? You got Kamala. That's what you have. I'm not sure if that gets any better. I'm just not. I'm not sure if I would want Kamala in office over Biden at this point. Biden might be a bumbling fool, but Kamala, she's a cackling fool, right? But she's more cognitively there than Biden, right? She actually is cognizant of what's going on, which could be worse. Could be a lot worse. Because remember, she was the last person in the room, right? When Biden made the decision, she was the last person in the room. So I'm pretty sure she had a lot of influence on this. So again, while I agree with the GOP, I just don't know if this is going to help anything. But I will say, I think Biden's presidency is done, guys. I really do. I think it's done. He doesn't have the media on his side anymore. The media has gone full-blown scorched earth on the Biden administration. They just have. And I don't see how the media turns around and starts kissing Biden's ass like they were before after going after him regarding this issue. I mean, they are eviscerating Biden. I mean, they're going after Biden the same way they was going after Trump. Let's be real, right? I mean, the way the media is talking about Biden, it's almost on the same level as Trump, right? He's getting that type of treatment. I mean, every media outlet is covering Biden negatively. I mean, we've seen his poll numbers decline down into the low 40% approval, guys. And after that, probably next week, it's going to be even lower. It might be in a 20%. His presidency is done. The public is done with Biden, guys. So at this point, again, if the GOP does not win in 2022, throw the whole party away. Just throw the whole party. I mean, that should be a landslide victory in 2022 for the GOP. Because the only thing that's checking Biden in his domestic policies is Congress right now, right? So Congress basically being in gridlock to a certain extent, with the Democrats barely having the majority, they can move some things, but most things they can't move. And to ensure that they can't move anything at all, and that this presidency basically becomes paralyzed, it is of the utmost importance that the GOP wins in 2022. If they can't pull this off, throw away the whole party. You should be calling for Kevin McCarthy to resign and Mitch McConnell to resign, right? If they can't win in 2022. I mean, come 2024, I don't see how anybody that they run can't beat Biden. I mean, they can run Lindsey Graham, right? They can run Lindsey Graham, right? They can run Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham could probably beat Biden at this point. That's how bad his administration has gotten, guys. The GOP could literally run anybody. Most likely it's going to be Trump. I mean, bro, Trump's going to have a lot of ammunition. I mean, as soon as the man left office, it's almost like the country fell apart, right? Look at gas prices. Look at inflation. Look at the border. Look at crime. Again, you got Afghanistan, you got our foreign policy. Biden embarrassed us at the G7. Only thing that we don't have going on anymore is the social justice / race riots, because magically police brutality disappeared under President Joe Biden, and that will probably come back eventually, right? Come to midterms. So, I mean, the country has essentially fell apart under the Biden administration, and everybody that voted for Biden, right? The 81 million. Y'all got to be feeling some type of way right now. There's no way you could be sitting here thinking to yourself, yeah, I made the right decision. Yeah, I went into the voting booth and voted for the best man for the job. No way. No way. So with that being said, a lot of people are going to be thinking like, that orange guy, them tweets weren't that bad. That orange guy, we had a great economy under that guy. Oh, man, a lot of people had jobs under that guy. People wanted to work under that guy. We were respected on the world stage under that guy. We didn't have all this crazy crime under that guy. We didn't have this crazy border crisis under that guy. That guy used to clap terrorists and throw up the American flag like it's the set, okay? So everything is working right now in the GOP's favor. All they got to do is just don't F it up. Just don't F it up, right? Just do nothing. Because at this point, again, the media, I don't see how they can turn around and all of a sudden be lovey-dovey and stroking Biden like they used to. They can't. They can't. So like I said, man, everything works in GOP's favor. All they got to do is just do nothing, right? Just do nothing. Stay low. Don't say anything stupid. Don't do anything stupid. And you good, right? Don't give Biden no easy layups. Don't give him no wins. And we good. That's all you got to do. And if they can't do that, like I said, throw away the whole party. Because the best chance that we have is winning in 2022 and taking back the White House in 2024. Because impeaching Biden, telling him to resign, that's just going to end up with a Kamala Pelosi presidency. And I don't want to see that, right? I think that's worse. I think that's worse. Okay? So, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.